Hello, my name is Peter Parfitt. Welcome to New Brit Workshop. For ages I wanted to show you the Festool TSC 55, that's the battery operated saw. I first saw it at one of the Festool road shows, and Festool UK very kindly lent to me this demonstration machine which has seen a bit of action, but it works perfectly. Let's take a closer look. Now this is the REB Plus XL GB version, and it comes in this large sustainer here, and it has the following items. There's the saw itself, there's a pair of 5.2 ampere hour batteries, there are two battery chargers, so both batteries can be charged at the same time. There's a dust bag, there's an adapter so that you can either have something like the dust bag on the back of the machine or a normal hose, and a splinter guard. Also, I have it fitted to the machine, there is a clear window which goes where the splinter guard would go as well. And you have your normal instructions, guarantee information and safety information. Now, one of the most important things to tell you about this is that this machine has a brushless motor. And a brushless motor consumes less power. It generates less heat and therefore your battery is going to last longer per charge, and it's much more efficient. Now when it comes to batteries, the machine is supplied with two 5.2 ampere hour 18 volt batteries, but you can use some of your legacy batteries, and I've got a 15 volt battery here. If you're using just one battery, it always goes in the lower position, and as you can see, it still works with a 15 volt battery. If you're running it on one battery, the battery always goes in the lower position, and with one battery the speed range is from 2650 up to 3800 revs per minute. And there's a speed adjuster just here on the side. When you install the second battery, that speed range now goes up from 2650 up to 5200 revs per minute. With one battery, and with two batteries, I think you can notice the change in speed there. Now at the rear here is a dust collection port, and it has this bayonet fitting which is suited to this dust bag. Just twists on like that, and notice you've got this clean line if you're having to work close to a vertical surface. Now, you may not want to use the dust bag. Now, if you do have the luxury of a vacuum, then as it stands right now, you can put a 27mm hose in there. But it won't have the ability to be moved around as you would normally experience with the mains operated machine. And that's where this connector comes in. You put this on here, screw it into position, and now you've got the normal connector capability that you've been used to with the mains powered saw. And with this connector you can of course use the 36mm hose as well. Now if you're used to its mains big brother, the TS55R, then you'll find this machine very familiar. The height adjustment control is here. That gives you a range of 0 to 55mm, although you lose a tiny bit when you go onto the rail. You have the same fast fix system for blade changes. There is one slight change here, and that is that when you lift up to do the blade change, your tool is actually built into the handle there. And the machine takes the same 160mm blades that you would have seen with the TS55. The blade that comes with the machine is the 48 tooth fine blade. So this machine will allow you to use any of your existing batteries, whether they're 15 volt or 18 volt. You can use splinter guards from your other machines. You can use the fence that came with your mains operated TSC 55. Of course you're using the guide rails as you would expect, and if you've got chargers already you can use those for the batteries. So it's very much part of the Festool family with interchangeability of various bits and pieces. Now the angle adjustment on the machine is from -1 to 47, And the normal 0 to 47 is just done in the normal way, loosening the knobs at the front and back and adjusting it. But if you want to go to the -1 position, you do have to flick out this little tab here. Very easy to do, just lift it out like that and then you go down to that -1 position. Right, it's time to do a test cut. And let me tell you what we've got set up here. Underneath here is a piece of ash and it's 45mm thick. The guide rail is held at this end with a clamp and also at this end. I'll just tighten this one now. So both ends the guide rail's held with a clamp. I've got a stop here on the guide rail in case there's any pressure backwards as I do the plunge. I'm going to set my depth here to 45 and I'm now going to do my cut. I've got 2 batteries and I'm using the fine tooth blade. And this time I'm going to do a cross cut. The rail is placed on here, it's not clamped down, and away we go. And that's a lovely cross cut, no problem at all. Now let's take a look inside this dust bag after those 2 cuts. Probably can't see in there very clearly, but what I'll do is open up the end. Now this is against my better judgment. I'll do this carefully. And there you can see we've managed to capture quite a good measure of that dust in there. Now the beauty of this bag is that you can empty it. You can either just tip it into a bin as it is, or else you can use your CT extractor and just clean it out. There you are, that's that emptied. Well, I'm sure you want to see how well this saw performs. First of all, let's take a look at something I did outside where it shows the classic sort of use of a saw where you've got no power supply. In this particular case, the side door of my barn was catching a little at the bottom, and so I decided to take a little bit off. I had to do a rebate and then trim it as well, and it went very easily. Right, now I'm just going to have a little play. And now what I've got set up here is I've got some ordinary pine boards. They're 40mm thick, and I'm going to start doing some cross cuts. And I'm going to start with just 1 battery, and this is the 15-volt battery. And I just thought I'd give it a try. Now for this setup, I've got my dust extractor connected because I'm going to do repeated cuts, and it would be a bind to keep emptying the little bag. I'm going to stop there because what I was trying to do was to prove the point that you can use a 15-volt battery on its own on this machine. Now let's see whether there's a great difference when I use an 18-volt battery on its own. And again, note I'm using the lower position. And now I'll put the second battery in. I'll stop there. But you can see that with the 2 batteries, it's absolutely no problem whatsoever. Now there are battery indicators on here. There's one at the bottom for the bottom battery, one at the top there for the top battery. And you can see the bottom one I'd used quite a bit before I put the top one on, and so we've got 2 bars on the bottom one, 3 bars on the top. Now if you're mixing batteries, for example you've got one 5.2 ampere hour battery 18 volt and one 15 volt battery as I have, then put the lower powered battery at the top and have the one with the most charge in it and the one with the higher voltage at the bottom. Well, that's my quick demonstration of the TSC 55, but don't take my word for it. Do a bit more research. Try and go to a show or a demonstration day if you can. Go to your local dealer and ask him to give you a demo of this machine. I think it's really good. One caution, don't be seduced into going cordless if you don't need to be cordless. These machines are great, they'll go on forever, but the batteries do need eventually to be replaced, and that can be expensive. If you're working on site a lot, particularly in the early stages of a construction where there's power is a problem, then this is definitely the saw for you. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.